Joined now by Joe Siracusa, who's the Dean of Global Futures at Curtin University in Perth, Australia. Prof, it's always good to have you on the program. So if opinion polls are anything to go by and Trump does go on to take South Carolina, is this the beginning of the end for Nikki Haley?
Good morning. Well, not really. I mean, she still has a very narrow path to the presidency, and she's going to hang in there. I mean, right now, she's got about 30% of the votes. Trump has 65%. She's hanging out for about 40 or 42%. She will find more money. She's already spent about $160 million. And as a gentleman said just before me, that she's kind of hanging out for Trump to collapse in the next 6 months. He's got trials. He's got terrible fines to pay. He could become undone in the courts and the rest of it. So, there's a long way to go. Trump's 77, going on 78. So, all kinds of things can happen between now and the Milwaukee nominating convention. But yes, he's doing very well. And keep in mind that Nikki Haley, whatever we think of her, has beaten 12 good people for the job, including, I think they're all men, as a matter of fact. So she beat Governor Chris Christie and others. So she's not exactly inexperienced, but she's hanging out for the long term. And as I say, she has a narrow road to victory, and she's going to keep on it as long as possible.
Do you think that Trump could collapse his presidential nomination and race because of all the legal challenges that he's facing, especially before November?
Look, I grew up with television. Everybody has a shelf life when you're created by television. Trump is a creature of television. 10, 12 years as a participant or host, and then the producer of The Apprentice. The American people get tired of this guy. They're going to drop him like a bomb. Keep in mind that Barack Obama gave us Donald Trump, and Donald Trump gave us Joe Biden. So American politics can go 180 degrees without much notice. But, she's putting on a good fight, and anything can happen to Trump. She knows that. She's not hanging out for bad news. She's just hanging out for what happens if he, if he gets embroiled in the courts, or if he's actually sentenced to jail. I mean, sooner or later, the American people have to work up and they say, you really want this guy to represent the United States as the leader of the free world. He can't even stay out of jail, for God's sake. So, we have to look at this guy maybe close again in the next couple of months.
Yeah, we certainly do. In that report that we had from our North America correspondent, one of the Trump supporters he spoke to said that she likes his policies, not necessarily what Donald Trump says. And is that what it comes down to here, Prof, that voters are looking at policies that will affect their day-to-day lives and their futures, not necessarily the personalities or possibly the things that candidates say, especially candidates like Donald Trump?
Well, the big question on these polls or these questionnaires is who's better on the economy? Who's better on immigration and stuff like that. So the American people think he's better on the economy, he's better on immigration, and he's better on a whole lot of things dealing with allies. So in a way, he does represent, they represent the leading issues for ordinary Americans. But let me put it this way. The Americans who are on your package right now, they're not ordinary Americans. These are people who are in South Carolina. There are only a handful of people voted in these primaries anyway. And they have a very narrow view of Donald Trump. They're not dealing with him on a world stage. They see him as sort of a local issue. That is, what can he do for them and for the economy and keep immigration at bay, which is a terrible issue in America. So, this thing can go wide open. I'm old enough to know that all kinds of things happen. I remember when Lyndon Johnson got on the television one night and said he's not running. I've seen people lose out of nowhere. I've seen people win out of nowhere. I mean, it's possible in American politics. And, who doesn't like a good political battle? And this is going to be very interesting right up until the end.
Yeah, certainly never a dull moment in American politics. Joe Siracusa, thank you so much. Live to us there from Perth.
Okay, thank you.